Ta-da! And back at y'all with another video. Welcome to Stop the Capping. I'm your host, Ahmad, and we got some things to talk about. So, when I got up, happened to turn on my phone, and of course, I get this. I don't know if you guys can see this. Take a good look at it. It says breaking news, and I hope you guys can see this. But anyway, let me read a little bit to you. This is from the Independent. Marcus Jordan, son of NBA legend Michael and Lawrence Pittman, ex, is arrested on cocaine and DUI charges. Now, first of all, why is Pittman's ex-wife, even though she was dating Michael Jordan's son, why is she mentioned in this particular article? Let's stay with the facts. Why was she even mentioned? That's his ex. Okay, you want to say he's the son of Michael Jordan, you want to include that to clickbait to get the to get give clickbaits. Okay, we get it. But then why do you need to add Scottie Pittman's ex-wife into the scenario too as well? This is what I'm talking about. Messy publication of the news. This is what I'm talking about when news get messy. First of all, there's no reason to include Michael Jordan. Point blank period. He didn't get arrested. Sure as hell, Scottie Pittman's ex-wife ain't got nothing to do with it. You just said she an ex, not married. They were just dating. I'm sure she's not the only woman he dated. And I'm sure Marcus Jordan wasn't the only man she dated. But you're not going around putting all his other dates, other exes into his mix. So why her? Okay. Another news outlet labels the news as this: Marcus Jordan attempted to escape from police after getting Lambo stuck on train track in new dashcam footage. So this happened in Florida. I'm sure he was probably speeding, driving irate in his Lamborghini truck. An officer gave pursuit. He was able to evade the officer and get away, but ended up getting stuck on a train track. The officer then went to detain him, took him to a sobriety, different phase, gave him a sobriety test, which he failed. And then he became a little irate when he was being placed under arrest. Which brings me to today's title. Today's title is about entitlement. It is about the behavior and conduct of today's young men and women. It is about entitlement. And and I want to talk about where and when did it start and what brought about it. Now, this is only my opinion. No one has to agree to it. Everyone could have their own opinion of how, when, and where it started from. But this is from my viewpoint. This is what I feel about entitlement. I have a son, I have daughters. And this is how I feel and deal with entitlements. Now, like I said, he was arrested. There was cocaine found on his possession, but this is not the first time that he has had a run in with the law. And this is not the first time he had a run in with the law with cocaine. So clearly here, he's shown that he has I'm not going to say an addiction, but he has a need for the substance. And sometimes you can be a functioning addict. And what do I mean by that? You have access to money so you can get the best cocaine there is. You can use enough just to keep you and maintain you and function. Because I knew a lawyer that used to smoke it on a regular. But she had the means and financing to keep it afloat. So she used just enough to maintain whatever those individuals that goes through it, such as heroin user, addicts, whatever they needed to maintain their sanity while on this substance. She had the means to do it while functioning. Gorgeous woman, gorgeous. Now you may say, Amar, what does this got to do with this case? What it has to do with is you have a person in a high profile job using substance but able to function without being detected by those around them. In other words, that person is not strung out. They have the means to support their habits. They have a means to get the best of that product, and they're able to do it without being detected by others. Not saying others don't know, but to the general eye, she's an attorney. You think that judge knew that when she was standing in front of him that she just snorted? He's going by her conduct and actions while she's in front of him. She defended me. Oh, she was off the chain. I walked out the courtroom smiling tenfold. That's how good she was. But I knew she was on that stuff. Pretty as I don't know what. So, once again, entitlement. So, reading this article about him, comments were being made by other individuals reading the story print. And in reading these articles about what happened to him, uh, this is a picture of him. This is him. There he goes. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there he goes. That's Marcus. That's Marcus Jordan, son of Michael Jordan. Okay. So people have been commenting and chiming in on this arrest, and it happened Monday in Florida. He was charged with DUI, resisting arrest, and cocaine possession. And this was according to TMZ. And looking at some of the comments within the confinement of this, people are chiming in on the behavior, mainly of NBA greats. You got Marcus Jordan doing the shenanigans he's doing. You got Magic Johnson's son doing the shenanigans that he's doing. You got Dwayne's son doing the shenanigans he's doing. Which brings you to my title of entitlement. When these young men or women who are sons and daughters of high profile figure within our community, they have a tendency of thinking they can do, say, and act above themselves and above the law based on their mother and father. And this is a perfect example. of thinking that you can do whatever you want to do and you have no responsibility to your mother and father. Well, that education that you got, trust and believe me, I guarantee you Marcus Jordan didn't pay for his own schooling. I bet his brother didn't pay for his own schooling. And I bet his daughter didn't pay for her own schooling as well. So you have an education provided by your mother and father. You have food, clothing. You lived in the best houses provided by your mother and father. Now you're an adult. You don't think you have an obligation to your family's name to maintain some type of respect and honor? Even if you don't like your father or your mother, they gave you life. You don't think as a child you have some type of respect that is due to them? And the Bible says, honor thy mother and thy father all the days of thy life. There's a reason why it's written. There is a reason why that quote is being said and being stated to honor thy mother and father all the days of thy life. Some people in the comment section telling other people to shut up, mind your business, you jealous. What does jealousy have to do with you out here doing the shenanigans that you're doing? Now, I understand when you live a certain lifestyle as a parent, it reflects back on the kid. I'm sure there's some grudges or something that hasn't been resolved when Michael and Juanita separated because the kids were still young. Sure, you still love your father, you still love your mother, but I'm sure there's some mental breakup within there that makes him do the things that he did. Not only some of the things that he did, we can consider entitlement or an entitlement type of activity or an entitlement type of vibe. But Michael has to accept a little of the responsibility too because of his shenanigans and his behavior. Sometimes the sins of the father and the mother trickles down to their child. And you don't know what type of psychological, I don't know, you don't know, because we didn't live in that household. Only Marcus and his siblings know the intent or the seriousness of what went on in that home and what traumas, mental and or physical or emotional, that they suffered from the mother and father breaking up. We don't know. We don't know what kind of mental or psychological effect that these had on these young men and women growing up as kids in that household when this all came out. Even though they were working for their father in his company, still you don't know what they had inside of them, what they felt, how they felt. Because neither one of us has sat down and had a conversation with the Jordan kids to ask them how they feel about their mother and father divorce. What kind of trauma did they go through during this divorce? All we see is the conduct and behavior, especially Marcus. There's always an odd one out in almost every family. When you have three, four, five, six, seven kids, sometimes they all, for example, the Waynes, 10 of them, but you see they all have a different lifestyle, different vibe. You don't see them in the news left, right, and center for negativity all the time. They had a different upbringing, so they have a different vibe. And so you look at the behavior of Marcus, who's had all the entitlements, whether he earned it, didn't earn it, but they were there. But his behavior and conduct doesn't reflect the image of his parents. Me growing up, I always tried to not do things that's going to cause a negative reflection upon my parents. That's why no one could force me to join gangs when I was growing up as a young man. None of my friends could coerce me into doing things that I know was wrong, that was going to get me caught up, locked up. I had enough cojones to know how to say, no, I'm not doing that, because I didn't want my actions and conduct to reflect on my parents. I seen the behavior of what my friends did, what it caused their parents. Now they got to go to court. They got to take off work. They got to do this. They got to do that. I don't want my parents to have to go through that nonsense and foolishness. So therefore, I conducted myself appropriately so that my actions and conduct would not reflect upon my father and mother, especially my dad. Growing up, my dad had a grocery store within the community. Everybody knew my father growing up. Everybody knew us as kids because we worked in the store. It was our father's store. We worked in the store. So all the neighborhood kids came in the store. Their parents came in the store. We knew their parents. We knew the kids. Kids knew me. The kids knew my parents. You don't think how many times me and my brother were asked to steal something or get something for this kid or that kid? You think we did it? Hell to the no. But kids was, oh man, your father got a store. Man, you can get this, this, and this. You can bring this and this and this. You can get this, you can get that. You think we did it? Hell to the no. Because we knew better. We got asked left, right, and center to steal stuff from our own store as kids. Can you get me this? Can you give me this? You think we did it? We did not. We left them goofy standing out there looking like a fool asking for stuff. You better go home and get some money because we did not want to bring disgrace and shame upon our parents. And me, growing up all through elementary, junior high school, everybody knew who we were. Eventually, over time, yeah, they stopped asking because they knew it wasn't going down. But yeah, we got asked left, right, and center to do things that we weren't supposed to do by our peers growing up. You better believe it. Boys and girls alike. And we did not succumb to that foolishness and nonsense growing up as kids. There's a difference between hard work, knowing the purpose of hard work, and knowing the purpose of obtaining things on your own. That's what our Father instilled in us. There's also another thing. Father may have, mother may have, but God bless the child that has his own. That has stuck with me for years. I've always tried to maintain and get things on my own. I try to still let it my kid. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So I got to give them the hard lesson. My son and daughter expected us as parents to buy them a car because someone at their school or their high school brought them a car. Well, that child was parents was fortunate and blessed to get them a car and wanted to look out for them for a car. That's fine and dandy. You want a car, you go out there and get it yourself because you'll respect yourself for doing it just like I did when I got mine. Kids being entitlement. And where did this entitlement type of mentality come from? I blame the media for most of this, especially news outlet like TMZ. Every time an entertainer breaks up or spouse separates and kids are involved, it's all over social media now. Oh, this person's is divorced and this person is breaking up. This woman wants this. And believe it or not, child support started all this. You won't believe this. Child support, breaking up, divorcing started all this entitlement. Why? Because it has been put out into the news media by the news media. And now it's become a social topic. This person is breaking up from this person. This woman wants X amount of dollars for this. This woman wants X amount of dollars in child support for that. This woman is entitled to, she wants 5,000 a month for a 2-year-old child for child support. She wants 117,000 a month for spousal support or whatever. This is where this entitlement type of mentality come from. And our kids now have access to things that kids 40 years ago didn't have access to. You barely rarely heard about somebody being divorced and someone getting X amount of dollars or winning X amount of such a thing for this and that for child support. You didn't hear it. Now everybody's business, especially into the entertainment field, is news. When did that become irrelevant? Well, of course, you had the National Enquirer, which started, and half their information was truth and lies combined together. So gossiping, talking about other people's affairs, broadcasting it all over social media now. Now you got kids out here. Oh, I'm entitled to child support. I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled to that. So socializing private affairs has brought these kids to, oh, I'm entitled to this now. I'm entitled to that. You owe me this. You owe me that. Look at 50 Cent's son. Having news available to him, having a sense of entitlement. I'm entitled to child support. I'm entitled to this. So now you have an entitlement complex. Society is to blame for all this foolishness and nonsense of the behavior of the kids today. You can say social media, whatever. Who started social media? Adults. Giving your kids, making these kids think that they have a sense of entitlement, so not earn nothing, they're entitled to it because they're here on earth. When we had to work to get what we want. But today's kids, they don't want to work for it. They do not want to work, point blank and period. But they want all the sports and riches of the world. Sure, you have some out here that can go get it. You have a lot of go getters young men out here. YouTube has created a lot of go getters. YouTube has created a lot of platform where these young men and women can go get it themselves. TikTok has provided a platform for these young men and women to go ahead and get it. But then you still have those who think they are entitled. They feel that they don't have to work for what they need and want. You get it. And they think what you earned is theirs just because they're your son or your daughters. You're my father. You're supposed to give it to me. Who came up with that shenanigan? So your parents scrape hard, left, right, and center, but now you pop out. Now you're supposed to be entitled to it. Sure, our parents are supposed to make your life better than theirs, but when their parents provide you with a solid education to go out here in the world and do and make it for your own, and they give you a platform to do it, you're supposed to respect it and go out here and get it done. Not do all type of shenanigans and think there's no consequences and repercussions for your action. And that's how he act. I don't want to answer no questions. I got nothing to say. News reporters on him left, right. They on his ass. He got a hoodie on. He went into the car. He don't want to answer no questions. He ain't got nothing to say. People all on social media, back and forth with each other. Other people telling, mind your own business. You jealous. What does jealousy got to do with him owning a Lamborghini truck and getting caught running from the police and got marijuana and got cocaine in the truck? What does jealousy got? Who wants? Who's jealous? Who's jealous of that? Some fool in the comment section actually had the audacity to tell another person to shut up and mind their business. You jealous because he got a Lamborghini and your broke ass don't. What kind of goofy would make a comment on social media, spread it all over the world so for somebody to read, and that's your mentality? That's another person was jealous because he's Michael Jordan's son, running from the police, under the influence, get stuck, and get arrested, resist an arrest, but somebody's supposed to be jealous because he has a Lamborghini truck and they don't. Because he has some funds and the person whose comment may be broke. Yeah, okay, that person may not own a Lamborghini. That person may very well be broke, but that person ain't being locked up for cocaine possession and having his business, his parents' business, all spread it over the internet. Make it make sense. These young men and women do not realize that they owe their parents that are still alive a little bit of respect. You don't see Asian kids and Chinese kids all over the internet doing all type of shenanigans. Why? Because they have respect for their elders. They have respect for the family name. They not out here left, right, and center doing all type of shenanigans that's gonna bring shame to their family. And that's something we as Americans don't seem to forget. We've forgotten that. Because trust me, believe me, back when my mother and father were kids, they did not go out and do things that's gonna bring dishonor to their mother and father. That's how I was raised. That's what I always tell you. You go out here and commit a crime, don't come crying. Stand on your point like you stood on that crime you committed. Stand on your point for the conduct and misbehavior that you did when you was out there. You know right from wrong. So when you get caught doing wrong, stand on business. My father wasn't paying no bail. My father wasn't putting up no property. The only way you get aid and assistance from my father is you 100% was in the right and they just trying to run over you with some bullshit. But if you out here committing crime, doing what you know is not right, my father had already told us as young men, it's even from kids, you go out here and commit these crimes that you know is wrong, stand on your business. Don't come getting on the phone talking about, Dad, I'm locked up. Can you bail me out? We already knew as kids growing up. It's not happening. Stand on your business. You know right from wrong. Stand on your business. And I taught my son the same thing. You know stealing, lying is wrong. Your friends, I've already told him this. Your friends are going to caress you and try to get you to do things that's not wrong. Hey, you watch the dough. No, pay for your stuff and get up out of there and let that fool do what he gonna do. You don't watch nothing. If somebody trying to force you to do something that's wrong, they're not your friend. That's why I taught him to defend himself. If you got to fight, you fight. You trying to fight from doing wrong and you get in trouble, I'm dead 10 toes deep for you. Somebody trying to punk you into doing something wrong and you had to fight and get up out of there and you got arrested, I'm there 10 toes down. That's a different type of vibe because you're doing what I taught you to. Don't let yourself get caught up in other people's shenanigans and foolishness. Don't bring disgrace to me and your mother because we did teach you right and wrong. We did show you what's right and what's wrong. We did tell you kids are going to make and try to suggest that you do things that are not appropriate. Don't follow the lead. Get yourself out of there. Entitlement brings this type of disrespect because when you're entitled to something, you don't respect the person who's giving you the things that you want. You just want them. You think it's a given. You think it's a given. So you do not respect the person who give you whatever you want. You don't respect them because you think it is a given. Now if that person make you go out and earn it, now it's resentment because you figured you were entitled because you heard the next kid got it. I didn't think that way. I have friends growing up, their parents brought them a car, but I didn't get mad because my dad didn't buy me one. My dad used to take me with him when he brought his brand new car. He used to take me with him. I didn't know he was teaching me a lesson. But when I brought my own car, I used those lessons that I saw my dad do when he was buying a car. I applied them to me when I brought my car, and I was only 17 years old. See, entitlement. kids have this fixation that they're owed something because they're born. Because they popped out their mama's stomach, they think they are entitled to whatever they want. Don't have to work for it. Just give it. I want it. Just give it to me. And now we have that society here in our midst now. Either you're gonna give it to me or I'm gonna take it. This is what the kids are doing nowadays. You either give it to me or I'm going to take it. And it's gotten out of hand. The urban kids, they use violence to get it. The rich kids, they use foolishness to get it. They get it and they out here doing nonsense with it. They get the best schools, they get cars they don't have to pay for. They get connection to jobs and locations that others cannot get. But then when they do get it, they don't respect it because it was given. Not earned, given. And so now they grow up with an entitlement complex. They throw tantrums when they don't get what they want. They misbehave when they don't get what they want. They act out when they don't get what they want. They involve themselves in foolishness like Marcus Jordan did when they can't get what they want. And who feels sorry for that? You have opportunities that no other kid has. And this is what you do with the opportunity. This is what you do with the blessing from your mother and father. You spit on it. You involve yourself in shenanigans like this. And this is not his first time involved in something like this. I'm sure Mike is probably thinking like my father. You're a grown man. I've given you all that I didn't have. You think Michael Jordan could live the lifestyle that his kids are living? You think he lived that lifestyle? Guarantee you he did not. I guarantee you his mother and father worked hard to provide the things that Michael did enjoy while he was growing up. I guarantee you Michael Jordan's father and mother worked hard to provide for that home. I guarantee you Michael didn't live an entitlement life growing up as a child. I guarantee you he didn't. I guarantee you his father and mother could not give Michael Jordan the things that he was able to give his kids. I guarantee you Michael had to get out there and get it. I guarantee he didn't sit in college with the best clothing on his back. I bet he didn't have a life of luxury when he was going to school. I guarantee you Magic didn't go to school in a life of luxury. I guarantee you Isaiah didn't go to school with a life of luxury. But now they have kids, and now their kids can do this. But instead of their kids respecting and honoring what their mother and father are able to do for them, they figure they are entitled to it. They don't need to respect it. And they don't need to respect how it was earned. They don't need to respect how it was given to them. They just popped out their mama's ass and they think they are entitled to it. They think they're entitled to it. How do you think you are entitled? What makes you think someone else's hard work, you are entitled to it? As parents, we have a responsibility to take care of the kids that we bring into this world. We are responsible for giving them the knowledge and the nourishment that they need to succeed as growing adults. But they're not entitled to these things for the rest of their lives. They need to go out into the world and be able to ascertain and get those things that they desire. Growing up, I wanted things, but I didn't go begging for. I didn't go asking myself, "I'm entitled because my dad had a store, so I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled." I didn't walk around feeling that way. I used to cut grass and deliver newspaper, and we had a grocery store. I used to get up in the morning, do my chores within the store. I would go out, get the lawnmower. I would cut grasses here and there, $10 here, $5 there. I would deliver newspaper. That was $60 at the end of the week. And I was 10 years old. 10 years old. I grew up in the 80s, in the 70s. I grew up in those times when you could do something with a dollar, when you could stretch a dollar pretty far back in those days. I grew up when greed, it was there, but it's not like it is today. People were trying to get a dollar left, right, and center, but today it's greed. It's just flat out greed. Today it is flat out greed. Point blank and period. It is greed left, right, and center. Greed and entitlement. You should give me that. You should do this. You should do that. Today's youth have an entitlement culture. They have an entitlement mindset. But it's up to us as parents to stop this type of behavior. It is up to us as parents that brought these lies into the world is to check that nonsense at the door. It is us as fathers. It is us as mothers to check these type of behaviors. Make your son or daughter get out here and achieve these things that they dream of and want. Get out there and get it. Get out there and get it if that's what you desire and want and need. There's a right way to achieve and get those things that you want and desire. Now, you want to live a life of crime to get those things, take it by any means necessary. Well, don't come running back here when you get locked up looking for bail. Because my father, he tell you right now, you go out here and commit a crime, stand on your business. He ain't putting up no house. He's not putting up no bail. You out here doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. You doing things that he's taught you as a child growing up was right or wrong, and he did. All of us, we knew what was right and what was wrong. Point blank and period. That's one thing we can't say we did not know because it was driven into our fiber, our very being. about right and wrong and the consequences and repercussions for doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. That's what you're supposed to be instilling in your kids. Hard work, drive, and determination, and doing things the right way, you will succeed. It might not come quick. You may have to work a little longer. You may have to work a little harder. But if you keep working, you will attain it. And that's what we need to be instilling in our young men and women today. Because this entitlement vibe is out of pocket. It is definitely out of pocket. It is out of a means and a way that we're living. Our youth do not want to work for the things that they're receiving. They figure they are living an entitlement way of thinking, and it's getting out of hand, especially in the urban community. Because their entitlement way of thinking, get it by any means necessary, are leading them down the wrong path. They're using crime as a way to fulfill those entitlement needs. Carjacking, armed robbery, store stick up, snatch and grab. They think they're entitled to the finer things of life by any means necessary. So I'll steal it. I'll take it. Hell with that hard work. You're either gonna give it or I'm gonna take it. Celebrity kids, left, right, and center. Marcus is not the first child of a celebrity to be involved in some type of criminal activity with the law. He is not the first celebrity son that's been involved in something. This is an occurrence left, right, and center with entitled kids. Kids that parents have went out, worked hard, did what they supposed to, and attained the wealth that they have. And then their sons and their daughters are out here behaving and just out here buck wild, doing whatever. Standing on entitlement instead of standing on business. Standing on entitlement instead of out here standing on business. And I'm not going to say all of them are doing this, but it's enough of them doing it to be concerned. There's enough young men and women out here standing on entitlement that it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed because it is a concern because what they're standing on is bringing about negative vibes, negative activities, and negative consequences, such as this. Because that negative entitlement wasn't checked. That entitlement vibe, that entitlement way of thinking, that entitlement behavior has not been checked and stopped at the door. For some reason, it has seemed to flourish and it has gotten out of hand. Every time you turn on the news, someone's doing this, someone's doing that, someone's involved in this, someone's involved in that, someone's doing this. That entitled culture, and we can try to blame it on social media. I blame it on bad parenting because we're trying to provide for our kids things that our parents couldn't provide for us. I never looked at that way growing up. I figured I got what I deserved, and I was happy with it. I didn't go looking at someone else's fences across someone else's grass. I never did that as a child growing up. I never worried about what my friends had or what I had, or he got this and I didn't have that. I never thought like that as a child growing up. I never thought like that as a teenager. Oh man, his dad brought him a car. Hey dad, why you ain't buying me no car? Never in my entire teenage youth life thought like that, felt like that. I never felt that way. Not one bit, not even one time did I ever worry about what someone else had that I didn't have. Never crossed my mind. Never thought my dad was a bad father or my mom was a bad mom because I didn't have what Joe Blow down the street had. Didn't bother me one bit. I was a happy young kid growing up. Didn't bother me one bit because we were taught values and principles, hard work, dedication. If you work hard, you can achieve and attain things that you want. May take you a little longer, but you'll get it if you keep at it. You will succeed if you keep at it. That's what I instill in my kids. My parents didn't pay for my education, but we paid for theirs. I put my own self through college. My dad, mom did not pay one dime of my education, other than from elementary school to high school. Progressing forward, I did it on my own, point blank and period. I had my own car. I had money to pay for my own food while I was going to school. And I was a full time student. My mother and father did not have to send me cash payments, cash money, period. My son and daughter got things that I didn't even get. But when you do things like that, you also have to teach your kids about respect and hard work. You also have to let them know you're not entitled to this. I'm doing this because I want you to go beyond what I did. I want you to be better than me. I've always told my son and daughters this. We want you to be better than we were. Take it a step farther. Go beyond me and your mom. Just like I've gone beyond my father. Go beyond me, but do it the right way. Don't be out here stealing, robbing, cheating, trying to get it. That's not we don't teach that. We don't implement that. My son and daughters both know. You go out here committing crime, doing things that you know that you're not supposed to do. Stand on business. Don't call home. Stand on your business. We got to stop this entitlement culture ASAP. It needs to get stopped ASAP. It's more influent with celebrities, and then when celebrities do it, it's broadcast all over social media, left, right, and center. Then our youth who have access to computer because it's all over the place, they see this stuff, and then they go back home and say, "Hey, where my car at? Where my Gucci? Where my Fendi?" Okay, they see all this stuff being done by other social media parents and mothers, and then they looking at their mother and father. Where my car at? Where my Gucci bag at? Where my Fendi bag at? Where my Prada? Where my red bottom? Where my vacation trip at? Where my school allowance? We create too much problems for ourselves by trying to provide for our kids things that our parents didn't do, and we thinking we're doing good. We need to start being parents and stop being friends. Let me say it again. We need to start being parents and stop trying to be friends. My daughter's mother has that same problem. She tries to be a friend instead of a mom sometimes. Hey, you got to stop that. I'm not your friend. I'm your father. We need to stop being friends and learn how to be parents. Because if you don't do it the right way, you get shenanigan behaviors like this. Now your son and daughter spread all over the TV doing shenanigans. And then people looking at you like, what did you do? Now you being labeled as what, you didn't teach your son and daughter right and wrong growing up? All these youths out here committing crime. One thing's for sure, and two things damn for certain. You came in this world with a man and a woman. All these kids out here did not come through no test tube, no surrogate mothers. They came by way of man and woman, which means you had parents, which means some of these mothers and fathers are knowing what their kids out here doing, and they just sitting back here and saying, I'm done. But then the minute they go to jail, you out here screaming and howling, you putting up your house, and you like, oh, my son and daughter. You know your son and daughter is out here doing dirt. You know it. Kids that are out here doing dirt, teenagers and grown men that are out here doing dirt, your parents know what you're doing. Just because they turned their back, turned a blind eye, oh, my son wasn't this, my daughter wasn't that. Stop it. Stop it. You don't think Michael Jordan didn't know his son's doing some of the things he's doing? Stop it. He know. Parents know when you out here doing shenanigans. You can walk around hiding. How that saying goes, what you do in the dark will eventually come to the light. What you do in the dark will eventually come to the light. And that's why today's topic is about entitlement. We need to be better parents and stop trying to be friends. We need to show and teach these kids that hard work, dedication gets the things in life that you want. You're not entitled to it. That I want to do things that my parents didn't do for me. Stop with that nonsense. These kids are not built for that type of behavior. They don't know how to honor and respect that type of behavior. They do not know how to honor and respect entitlement behavior. They do not. They do not know how to respect an entitlement behavior. They don't know how to respect being given a car, being given free education, being given expenses and money to go along with that. They do not know how to respect being given. They don't respect being given. Giving them something from the kindness of your heart, they don't see it as kindness from your heart. They see it as entitlement, like you supposed to gave it to them. They look at it like you should have gave it to them. They think because they didn't ask to come here, you're supposed to give them whatever they see because they didn't ask to come here. That's not how it works. And we need to stop with that shenanigans thinking just because we bring a child in here, we supposed to give them every single thing that they see and want. That ain't how it goes. Now, if you're fortunate and able to provide that type of lifestyle for your kid and you want to do it, okay. But now, when your kids go out here and screw it all up, well, guess where the spotlight coming? Guess where that spotlight's coming? Coming on your child, and it's coming on you. Going on that child, and it's gonna be spotted on you because you brought that in this world. That's my topic for today. If you have comments, complaints, it's something that you know and seen, post it. Maybe it'll influence or help someone else. So leave your comments in the comment section. What do you feel about entitlement? How do you feel about it? What things do you give your kid and don't give your kid? Think about your own personal household. Think about the behavior of your own kids and put your son and daughter in this situation. What do you do if your son, your daughter, is plastered all over the TV, resisting arrest, DUI, caught with possession of cocaine? How would you feel about it? Would you just say, he's an adult, he can do whatever he wants? Because me, as an adult, I still do not do things, and I still didn't do things because I knew my mother and father was still walking this earth. And I didn't want to bring shame, not only to myself, but to my parents. It was easy for me to say no. Easy. You don't have to worry about me joining a gang, stealing, robbing, committing murders, carjacking, foolishness, joining somebody's foolishness and nonsense, bringing disgrace and shame to myself, and bringing shame and disgrace to my parents. Me and my brothers and all my sisters, we knew this growing up as kids, teenagers, as adults, left, right, and center. You wasn't getting us involved in nobody shenanigans. You weren't punking me to do anything that I know was wrong. Kids used to call me all kind of names because I wasn't doing this and that. Yeah, okay, I'm a punk. Put your hands on me. You can call me all the names you want. Put your hands on me. I told you no, and that's what I meant. But our culture today is the gimme culture. It is the give me culture. I ask, you give me. It is the ask and give me. And now it's getting so bold that I don't even want to ask. It is an expectation that you give me. Now it's supposed to be the law of the land. You give me. I don't know where that nonsense came from, but not under my house, not under my roof. Thank you for watching and enjoying another episode of Stop the Cap. I am your host, Ahmad. Please tune again for the next video. Until then, you maintain your flow and you keep your hands out of my pockets. With that being said, peace. I'm out of here. Ta-da!